After decades of torture, Washington football fans, you might finally be getting some sweet relief. Commanders owner Dan Snyder, the worst owner in the NFL, the worst owner in maybe all of sports, has hired Bank of America Securities to look into selling the Washington Commanders. This is huge, huge news. This team has been mired in controversy. They've been dealing with nonsense for way too long, and he was very steadfast that he was not going to sell this team. But guess what? He was also steadfast that he would not change the name from the Redskins, and here we are now. So things are finally moving in the right direction, it looks like. I'm going to break down everything going on with the story, give you my 2 cents on the whole situation. But if you could first, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. Really helps the channel out a lot. We're growing like crazy. But let's get into the nitty gritty. So news broke this morning after years, it feels like, of controversy. There's so much going on, and steadfastness that Dan Snyder would not be selling the Washington Commanders. It looks like they are potentially moving in that direction. They released an official statement that they've hired Bank of America Securities to probe into possibly moving on for the team. I think this comes from the wake of Jim Irsay saying a couple weeks ago that he thinks the owners have enough votes to force Snyder to sell the team. Snyder's always been a douchebag, but he doesn't want to get embarrassed here and forced out. If he's going to sell the team, it's going to be on his own terms. I think the writing's been on the wall for such a long, long time. I've done multiple videos on what a clown this guy is. I mean, the controversies are endless. The man's testifying in Congress over here. That's never a good thing when your owner is testifying in front of Congress on malfeasances done in the workplace. But we needed to get some clarification. Doesn't mean that they're actually selling the team. No, not really a commitment here. They haven't officially announced, but they're looking into it. They're going to do some deep diving, what the valuation is for this franchise. I mean, I think they're getting north of $2 billion. Easily, I think they could get north of $3 billion. I mean, the Broncos just sold for something crazy. Now, the Commanders are not the Broncos, but it is in D.C. They do own the stadium, I believe. So, interesting to look at here for as far as a team evaluation standpoint. But everyone was blown up on this story. They released official statement after some prodding and prodding. Let's see what they said. Dan and Tanya Snyder and the Washington Commanders announced today that they've hired Bank of America Securities to consider potential transactions. The Snyders remain committed to the team, all of its employees and its countless fans, to putting the best product on the field and continuing to work to set the gold standard of workplaces in the NFL. Oh, dear God. They did not just say that. The gold standard of workplaces in the NFL. This was probably the worst NFL working conditions. First of all, the field is a train wreck. It feels like everybody gets their soul snatched on that field. How many ACL tears, how many crazy broken legs, have happened in the stadium? But let's not talk about the years, the lawsuits, the controversies with cheerleaders, female executives, employees. It's just been a disaster. I mean, this has been going on 3 to 5 years, it feels like now, where Dan Snyder's always in the news, and Washington fans have been really, really trying to get on him. They deserve to have a good owner. Every team, every fan base deserves to have a rich billionaire who's actually committed to winning, not cashing just a check. Because honestly, all these professional sport teams make a shit ton of money. The NFL is gross in how much money they make, regardless of the product you put out there. So spend some damn money and win some football games. Reward the hard-earning, working people that pay their salaries. I mean, Jesus, if you don't have TV deals, if you don't have fans, you're not making this kind of money. So you should be able to put the best product out there. But like I said, there's been so many controversies. Let's see, years of controversy, sexual harassment, violation of cheerleaders' privacy, alleged discrimination and harassment of women in the workplace, the team name, obviously. I mean, Snyder was super, super adamant. He is not selling this football team, but he was the same way when it was the Redskins. He was pounding on the table. We will be the Redskins forever. And look, they were the football team, now they're the Commanders. So I never really bought that he wasn't going to sell the team. I thought sooner or later he was just going to cash out. I mean, he's owned the team for like 20 years now, 20 plus years. I think he bought the team in 99, so he's owned this team for a real long time. They've been abysmal with him there. They have a couple of playoff appearances. Don't think they really have any playoff wins. I mean, I know that much, so it's really been a hard time for them. This used to be a really prideful franchise here. If you don't remember, those of you that are too young, I mean, I'm pretty too young, but this was a Super Bowl franchise in the late 80s, early 90s. They were dominant, multiple Super Bowl wins. This was a very proud team. They had the first African-American quarterback to win the Super Bowl, and now it's just like a dumpster fire. Total joke. Let's see what else. So, yeah, multiple times the team cheerleaders and female employees have been accused of holding back ticket revenue. Team has also been accused of holding back ticket revenue that should have gone to the league. Snyder was removed from the team's day-to-day operations last year following the investigations. He's testified on Congress this year. It's just been a total meltdown. And like I said, I think this stems from the comments of Colts owner Jim Irsay last week talking about, I believe we have the votes to force a snail from Dan Snyder. People did not believe that was going to happen. He also went on to mention the toxic workplace environment and the financial impropriety. When you're holding revenue from other NFL owners, now you're on their shit list. Now they'll really get on after you. Most of the time, these owners really don't care about what's going on with other teams. Everyone's cashing a check. Everyone's making their money. But when it comes out, oh, you're possibly holding back some of that revenue that went to the other owners, yeah, they're going to come after your ass. And there's nobody who has more resources is angrier than billionaires with a lot of free time. Like, they will come after your ass. So Dan really messed up with that one. But what do we expect? Dan's a scumbag. I feel bad for his wife, but it's just been a complete disaster. He needs to get out of there. He needs to sell this football team. Hopefully, we'll get some sweet relief for our Washington football fans, and they can come back to being a proud franchise once again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think? Is Dan need to be out? Is he actually going to sell the team, or is this just a complete bluff? Let me know in the comments below. Again, drop a like on that video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.